Hello and welcome to this Festival Pro tutorial video. Today we're going to take a quick look at contractors and crew and just the kind of default workflows that people often use within Festival Pro. Now obviously all events are slightly different. You may have some tweaks to this or extra steps you need to add in, but fundamentally this is kind of the core functionality of what most people tend to use in Festival Pro. We define a contractor as a company who have staff, say an audio company, and crew as say an individual, a freelancer or someone who's coming on site. But they do interact in very much the same way. You'll often allocate a crew member maybe just one individual pass, whereas a contractor you'll probably be giving them more passes for their team. We can add in a contractor by going here on the menu, contractors and crew, add contractor. And then we need to put in the contractor name, first name, last name, and email address of your contact. And then underneath, we can mark them as confirmed. And you can start to fill in any of these details that you might know already. I've actually already added a contractor in here and called them the audio company here with Steve Speaker. And under the profile fields, there's currently not marked as confirmed. So if I were just to mark this contractor as confirmed quickly, we'll then see them appear in the view all confirmed list. And here they are, the audio company. Now often people will do things in one of two ways. You might know already how many passes you want to allocate them, in which case great, we can come into profile fields, go into accreditation, and you can put in the kind of passes you want to give them, 3 production passes for example. Or it might be that you do not know and you want to send them a form for this. And we do have a crew accreditation request form. You can see I've completed one here for the audio company already. If I go dashboard forms, under crew forms, here we'll find the crew accreditation request form. And by default, it's just very simple. We're just saying how many backstage passes, production passes, or security passes they might need. You can obviously adjust this form, add any other questions that you might have. You would send this form out via an auto login link, and we'll cover that in a minute when we go over the advanced, but it's the same process. We'll just send this out in an email template. And if I go to the registrations, you'll see here we can see how many backstage, production or crew passes that they have requested. I've added these in here by using the add columns feature, and we can choose from the form questions, and then we can also add the accreditation field in here, and then we could quite simply come into the general accreditation and say they want 3 backstage pass requests, add those there. You can also add in passes under the pop-up. This you could do in the search for your contractors quite easily. So let's just add them there. Say 1 security pass here. And then they also requested 3 production passes. And a third way to do this is just to actually go to the company themselves. You can edit the company and again go to the accreditation, and we can assign them their 3 production passes. So there's a couple of different ways, depending on how you most like to work, to assign these bits and pieces, along with any other information you might want to store in a profile field against the company. So if we go back to the audio company, perhaps we will actually add in their type, budget, the number of radios that have been assigned to them, perhaps if they're staying on site. This might be a question we actually collect off of them though on the advance. Perhaps the actual overall fee. You can go into your config and add new fields into this section. But all of that information can pull through to the next step, which is the contractor advance. I'm just going to go to the dashboard forms and then go to our contractor advance. If we open this up, we can see on the back end here all of the questions that we are asking. Now at the top of the form we'll have top page text. This is textual information that you want to tell them, and you can mail merge in all that information that was in their profile. You'll see here under mail merge, here are all of those fields. So if we were to add in radio numbers into the mail merge, as it is here, it's going to actually pull through and show us that when they get sent their unique form. And then we have the fields that they fill in and return to us. In this orange section, this denotes a group, and a group is a repeatable set of fields. So what we have here is a group with a contact collect at the top for crew pass, which is limited to the number we put into that general accreditation box a minute ago. We just edit this field. You can see that it is a contact collect, and under field options, this is where we limit it to the general accreditation field. There is also an email option, and here is where if you want people to fill in, say, a site induction form, you can set up a link and a form in here, and this will get emailed to every name that gets put into those crew boxes. They can go and fill in any site inductions or similar things. Underneath that, we have essentially the same thing with a vehicle pass, contact collect, but this is limited to vehicle accreditation. We've got some request fields for forklifts and collecting all your documentation, risk assessments, insurance, health and safety. You can come down to add new field, add in any other questions that you need or information you need to collect. And then once you're happy with this form, we can go ahead and send it out to our contractor. Because this form is auto login, and this is denoted under the settings access options, we can see here is an auto login. We want this because we want the information that we're receiving to save to the profile of the contact we are sending it to. If we had public, it would be creating new contacts and anyone could share this form with anyone. So we want this on single form per organization. We'll save this. And because it's an auto login form, we have to ensure that the people receive the link via an email template. Now if I go and have another look at our confirmed contractors and just bring up the audio company here, click on his email address, I can come in and go to the contractor advance. Now if I click on this link and we view it, you'll see that it is a very long encrypted link, which means it's a unique login just for them. They can use this link to come back and return to their form. And if I open that up, you'll see all of that stuff that we just set is going to pull in here at the top, the audio company, pass allocations, etc. And then we have the questions that we ask back. So this is that group with the crew pass. You can see you've got person 1 in here, person 2 in here. And the numbers at the bottom will change accordingly. So we've got 1 of 1 security passes here at the minute. Let's change this to security. We can see we've got none of those left to allocate, and collect those document uploads. And then any actions based upon the completion will also happen. So if we just go back to the form itself, dashboard forms, contractor advance, there is the on completion section. So once somebody has completed the form, we can say that the tickets will be sent to either nobody or to the main booker, or if we were collecting the emails on the contact collects, to the individuals, or indeed you can send it to both. You can also receive a notification to an email address of your choice with a copy of their form entry whenever somebody has completed it. And then they will also be sent the confirmation email, which you have to set in this tab just here. In terms of editing the email template itself, when we send it, we can do this by going into Files and Templates. Here we can see the Contractor Advance. This is the same one that we just selected from the drop down. If I were to edit this and then say, maybe make this say please please, and we can actually see here it's always good to check these links, make sure that they are the ones with contact ink string at the end. You can always link your forms by clicking the little up button, and on the left you'll have your public forms, on the right you'll see your auto login forms, and we can just click on the Contractor Advance here to relink that. So let's just go and have a quick look at our contractor and just send them that email again. And we'll see here that this is updated. Say please, please. Once your contractor has completed their registration, we'll see that under contractor forms and registrations. In here we can view what Steve put in, and here is the names that we're putting on the tickets. We can actually go down to actions here and view those passes themselves. You'll be able to edit these ticket designs on the field where the tickets are being created on the Contractor Advance. And you'll also be able to download any health and safety insurance documents individually here if we have them, or you'll be able to do that via an export. You may find yourself wanting to just chase people up and make sure that they have completed the advance or any other forms that you've sent them. We make this quite simple. We can go to contractors and crew, run a search for all of our confirmed contractors who maybe have been sent but not filled in. Say a contractor advance. We can see there's nobody in the system who hasn't filled in the form. But let's just do this quickly and add another contractor. And we're going to send this contractor out, contractor advance. We'll just run that search again and look for all of our contractors who have been sent but not filled in their contractor advance. And here we can see our test person. It'll be very easy when you've got a list of them to click on bulk mail and just chase people up. The other thing that some people will do with the contractors as a part of their default workflow is to add them to tasks. And we have a task management calendar under production schedule calendar. And here we can start to do things like the stage setup, the cable drops, toilets, whatever it might be that you need to do to make your event happen before in the build and the break. We can click on show all days here to be able to see the week extended. We can click on the plus to start adding in new activities. And once you've added them, we can just come down here and, for example, add the audio company. Here now. And let's just go and send them the schedule. So to send a schedule, it works very much the same as sending out the email. Again, we could do this by bulk, but I'll just do it on Steve as an individual. And I can come down and under schedules, choose schedule. It will send them an email with all the relevant information, as well as a link which always links them live and up to date. So when they click on that link, they'll get a page, something like this. And if we now go and add the audio company to just a couple more things on this calendar, let's add them over here. And we'll just add them to the main stage D-rig as well. Let's just go back to their schedule and refresh. You can now see, so as you adjust things on the calendar or add people to new tasks, the link that they have here will always be live and up to date. So that was an overview of the contractors and crew module in Festival Pro. Just a look at how we can add a new contractor, and then you can mark them as confirmed and add different profile field information to them, along with however much accreditation they might need, or send out an accreditation request form beforehand. You can then edit these forms and collect all the information that you require back, generate QR code tickets, add people onto your production schedule, and send everybody out their own individualized schedules. Chances are after this there's other steps that you'll want to look at, such as running exports on this information, exporting your files, and you'll find other tutorial videos that go into this in more depth. But hopefully this has given you a good starting point to working with contractors and crew in Festival Pro.